Right, so let's talk about safety in Belgrade, because this is something that might be important to some of you. Now, it wasn't a factor to me when I chose to come here, but interestingly enough, the first thing I saw when I got here, I went to the grocery store to get some water because I don't know if their water is potable or whatever the hell you call it. But I'm not drinking tap water, okay? There's tons of reasons why. We aren't getting into that for the purpose of this video. But I went to the grocery store to get some water, and literally, I wasn't in there for more than a minute, and someone was trying to steal stuff from the grocery store. Now, what happened following was pretty interesting, because there was no less than 5 people who chased this guy outside of the store and recovered the goods, let's just put it that way. And this is interesting because in the United States, even when I was a bit younger and I was working one of those more entry-level college job type things, we were not allowed to recover stolen merchandise from people who were trying to steal. Like, we couldn't touch them, we couldn't do anything. We essentially just had to use our words to get them to give up the stuff. And this old lady was chasing this guy outside the store, and then a bunch of other people followed with her, and they, needless to say, recovered the stuff that was being stolen, and it was 3 bottles of alcohol or something like that. And I just thought that was interesting on a couple levels. One, that the first thing I saw was someone trying to steal. And then 2, the dichotomy or the difference between how that situation is handled in Serbia or Belgrade in comparison to how it would be handled in the United States, where, you have people who can just rob up to $900 worth of stuff, and it's the police don't even care. So that was interesting. But with that said, that's the only time I saw something like that. And I believe Serbia is actually known to be relatively safe. Another thing that is important to note is the protests. So occasionally they have protests. I'm not getting into the politics of this because obviously I don't know the politics. But apparently they've been having student protests for the last 8, 9, 10 months or something like that, which is, it is what it is. I'm sure there's nothing violent going on from a bunch of students, right? So that's just one thing to be aware of, because they block down roads, if I understand correctly. Hopefully it doesn't happen while I'm here, at least in Belgrade, because it's happening throughout the country. So that's another thing to be aware of. But I think I'll do this like my previous video, where I'll just go out later tonight and walk the streets, and so you guys can see what it's like at nighttime, okay? Because I think that's a good indicator of how safe it actually is. And like I said, I've felt completely safe this entire time, and so far my favorite area has actually been the Belgrade waterfront, but that's different area than this. That's a whole different video. Okay, so I will talk to you more once I've spent more time here as well, because I haven't been here very long. So that's another thing. All right, we've got an update for you because I've spent a little bit more time here. But with that said, let's go ahead and get on into the safety updates. So the first thing to know is we are in the tourist zone right now. I got a long walk ahead of me. I'm in Republic Square area, and I'm going to the waterfront area. So long trek ahead. But with that in mind, I haven't seen a ton of police in the tourist area. So generally the tourist area is going to be obviously the most secure because of economic reasons, right? But with that said, it doesn't seem to me that there is any danger in Belgrade, at least. I felt super safe the entire time. No problems. Absolutely love the Serbian people. They are so nice. Some of the friendliest people I've ever met. Super welcoming. They are almost like the Thai people of Europe, in my opinion. I mean, at least based on my experience. I mean, your mileage may vary on that aspect. But, like I said, let's give you a little bit of an update. And to do that, I want to show you guys a little bit of the streets of Serbia. So, as soon as these cars cross, we're gonna cross and make our way to the waterfront area, right? Okay, let's go. We're going. I don't care what's going on. Alright, so usually I try and use like groups of single women as like a barometer, which, I mean, here, I'll flip the camera real quick just so you can see behind me that there are groups of single women walking around late at night. But with that said, because I've spent more time here, I feel really confident saying that you won't have any safety or security issues. I've been leaving my camera, my phone, and my bag right here. My super masculine storage device, as I call it, on the counter of places and on tables and stuff like that. And no one's even said, oh, you might want to watch that because sometimes people just come up and take it or anything like that. So it seems like it is definitely checking off the safety box, right? Yeah. So that is the quick update on safety at nighttime. So to wrap up this video on safety, my final conclusion, perfectly safe. You will have the absolute time of your life here. You can walk around pretty much anywhere that you would likely be staying if you're a Westerner watching this video at any time of the day, and you won't have any issues whatsoever. Now, I will say there is a bit of an issue with begging, okay? So like when I was sitting at coffee shops and some other places, even recording videos around here, people will come up to you and essentially ask you for money, right? And in the beginning, it wasn't really a problem because I didn't even have cash with me. So I was like, I mean, I don't keep cash on me, but it does get a bit annoying, and so that's just something to be aware of. But obviously, that's not really a safety concern. It's just more of an annoyance. But with that said, let's wrap up the video here. Perfectly safe. You're going to have the time of your life. Super friendly people, super safe, and really clean. So I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.